Alright, time for another DraftPhysics.com, debatephysics.com, but the cowardly physics types, the defenders of the standard religion, will not be critiqued or obliged to answer questions, and they just cop out by calling everybody who disagrees with any of their little phantasmagorical fables a flat earther or something like that. They explain it away as, oh, they have some sort of psychological problem because they don't believe in wooey fables. Our wooey fables, our Catholic religion. And that's all it is. Physics is a religion. It's not science. It's just dogma, unevidenced dogma, okay? The evidence is terrible, pitiful. It's, men in gorilla suits with the zipper showing. And it's really bad that they get away with it. And they get away with it because, yes, most people they aren't detail oriented. They just want the quick fix. Cut my taxes, raise somebody else's taxes. It's that for most people. So just give them simple, stupid answers and they'll just gobble it up because the average human is a fucking moron. Alright, so it should be stated that I have made hundreds of this style of response video where I just honestly react to the fucking moron talking shit. And let's understand that out of those hundreds of videos, only a couple of them involve a girl, okay? And this isn't about being a girl. It's about somebody saying shit that's crap, okay? That's that simple. All right, so, and yes, I don't think we should ignore people's gender. I think it is a fact, all right, that there's a certain, appeal. There's a different, look, if I was a girl and I was this and I was wearing a bikini and I was doing this and I was doing that and talking about veganism and talking about this, doing that, then, of course, male reactions are going to be different. It's just a fact. You can't change any of that shit. All right, but this argument is about your intelligence and the quality of the crap coming out of your mouth as an assertion regarding the truth. And that's where you're failing dismally, Angela. So leave us continue with this tripe and bullshit.
And just like sticking in a little constant, being like, this is the new. And new is for consciousness in the wave.
Right. So they make up lots of stuff. There's fractal people, all kinds of different ether people. So yeah. Lots of different kinds of religions, okay? And they're all frickin' stupid because none of them are based on compiling evidence and drawing it out and making sure it works. No. Nobody's dropping 4 pounds 1 foot and 1 pound 4 feet and finding out what the right answer is. Doing it legitimately, that is, with a spring that can actually detect the difference.
And I've added it, and it's like, okay, but what are the units? What are the units of consciousness? Isn't that going to mess up your equation? All
right, so yeah, everybody's a consciousness nut. All of the people arguing against our pristine physics, our perfect physics, are all consciousness nuts. No, they're really not. And UFO nuts. So again, it's all this pigeonholing. If you can pigeonhole us, then we can pigeonhole you. You're all a bunch of arrogant, obnoxious, jackass, egotistical fucktards who have your head way the fuck up your stupid fat asses.
No, they don't care.
You don't care. Where is your evidence? The Eddington experiment, 1919. We have 400 times better resolution. We have all this technology up in space. It takes 5 fucking minutes. And you physicists, you astrophysicists don't even say, could you please do the Eddington experiment? I mean, since it's so easy, you only need a GoPro camera, for fuck's sake. You could do it from the space station. You could do it from a satellite. Lots of different ways you could do it. 5 frickin' minutes of satellite time. Could you please do the Eddington experiment just to show us that it actually did happen, that it actually does work? You can even use Jupiter, for fuck's sake, because of the 400 times better resolution. Do you do it? No. What you do is play fucking commercials. That's what you fucking do. Gotta make our money off the science. we're such devoted people. We love science so much that we have to capitalize on it and make money. Okay, so now she's quote mining some other wacky theory, okay, for which the person wasn't paying to be debunked. I mean, he wasn't saying, look, I'll pay you to debunk me, okay? I'll pay you to make one of my arguments and then show how my argument is bullshit. Okay, no, they're not even doing that. Anyway.
To all matter, we can fundamentally establish that C equals HF, where C stands for consciousness, H for the constant of Planck, and F for frequency.
So it doesn't even, again, that whole nonsense. I went over the whole frequency thing when I did my response video to her, and how it has nothing to do. Frequency doesn't make something have more energy. It just makes something have more effect regarding how it tips over an electron. But anyway.
That leads me to the third thing that tells me this email is actually a crackpot theory of physics. Crackpots are incredibly angry.
Yeah, they should be incredibly angry. Why shouldn't anybody be fucking angry? You're not, I mean, the Democrats aren't angry that, what the fuck, we can't beat fucking Donald Trump? He's a fucking lying psychotic. And we can't produce a single candidate that looks better than that? And the Republicans are saying the same thing. Look at these loop-de-doo whack jobs talking all this free everything. Let's go. Let's let people shoplift. Let's let people commit murder. Let's let people steal cars. Who cares? Who's going to stop them? Oh, we can't be bothered. Oh, they're just poor innocent little kids. Oh, yeah. They shot your eye out. Oh, well, too bad. They shot your eye out. It was a mistake. You know, those are our two choices. People should be angry as fuck. Yeah, I'm angry as fuck that Degrassi Tyson is allowed to make these obnoxiously silly videos. This whole quantum crapola. He stole. He only has a job because of what's his face. Cosmos guy. Then he remakes the show and makes it the wooiest, silliest pile of nonsense possible. Photons. Oh, they know we're looking at them. Fuck, yeah, people should be angry.
At the physics community. Crackpots will send you emails in all caps with random words in bold.
So all the cranks do that. Every single one of them. I've gotten plenty of troll comments, okay? It's people defending physics who have an all caps problem, okay? They just have to keep using the cap lock. So again, just another generic profiling bullshit. She can't make an honest argument, so she has to turn every single frickin' person who finds anything to be inconsistent or problematic with their physics into some sort of retarded crank. So we should do that to every physicist. So every physicist is Degrassi Tyson and Akaku, all right? Krauss and Green, all right? But then I could say there's a few out there, even that many worlds loop-de-doo. On most subjects, he's pretty rational.
In red. And say things like the physics establishment will regret not listening to me.
Yeah, well, guess what? That's how it is going to turn out, okay? All of you pieces of human garbage are going to be found out to be what you were. Arrogant, ignorant, goddamn pontificating, stupid, reckless, sloppy, bad scientists. You were bad scientists because you didn't even you're sitting there at the trial and they're drawing a picture of a fingerprint. They're drawing a picture of a gun. I mean, they're not even coming close to producing anything called real evidence. They're just putting up a sign with an arrow pointing to the guy saying, guilty, guilty. That's their legal argument. I mean, it's a frickin' kangaroo court. Your physics hasn't been tried. 13 of you little pieces of garbage sit in a room somewhere and decide what everyone else is supposed to believe. I mean, it's such bullshit.
Email doesn't reach Neil deGrasse Tyson in 72 hours. You'll be sorry. Like, you have ignored me for the last time. And honestly, bros.
Yeah, bros. Yeah. Groovy. bros. Yeah, physics talk. Oh, fuck.
It's a little terrifying because physicists usually work at public universities.
Oh, yeah, that means anything, okay? Google was a public university project. We're gonna save the internet by creating a non-commercial alternative. It won't have any commercials. It's free. Yeah, it was a fucking racket. So again, all of this bullshit. Do you think they would have built LIGO if there wasn't some possibility that this silly technology might be able to overhear what's going on in North Korea? Yeah, that's the only reason why it was built. It wouldn't be built otherwise. It was just because it had some military applications, some CIA covert applications. That's it. That's the only reason they invested any money in that pile of shit.
Like, you can Google your local university, go to their physics department, and find out what building that physicist is going to be in all day. Find out where she's teaching her.
Why are you doing this? I mean, why are you giving suggestions to psychotics? I mean, you're basically asking them to stalk you? So some asshole who I've repeatedly asked not to email me because he's an idiot keeps emailing me. I mean, that's not a big deal. I'm not saying that's a terrible threat. I'm just saying that there's actual people, on actual medication. It's an actual fact. And I don't think you should be giving them any suggestions like that. That's really stupid. Yeah, become a stalker. Okay, are you really convinced I'm a jackass and an asshole and I'm talking shit against you and I'm evil? Are you really convinced? Well, then stalk me. You think you're going to change their minds? You think your silly fucking video is going to make somebody say, oh yeah, I'm just a silly crank? No, they're just going to take it as you pigeonholing them and insulting them. My theory isn't rope theory, okay? My theory isn't consciousness equals booger up your noses, okay? That's not my theory. My theory is Leibniz was a religious kook, okay, who was afraid of Newton and Descartes because they were too atheist. I mean, I'm afraid of a guy who looks at Newton and Descartes and says they're too atheist.
Her classes, where her office is, when her office hours are. So the reason I'm never responding to a crackpot email is because they are so angry and it's scary.
Oh yes, it's scary when people don't agree with me and everybody's not a pepper. It's so scary when everybody's not a pepper or a trumper. Oh, fuck this bullshit.
And, it's all fun and games. Ha ha ha, these people.
Yeah, it's all fun and games. And guess what? The defenders are the ones that are the scary fuckers, okay? I've had the cops at my house twice. Okay, because people are offended that I would dare disagree with the status quo bullshit, the lowest common denominator moron crapola. And so they have to invade my personal life. Fuck you.
People don't understand physics, but think about how delusional you have to be.
To think 4 pounds dropped 1 foot is the same as 1 pound dropped 4 feet. Or that a car crash where the car's going 50 miles an hour does 25 times the damage of a car crash at 10 miles an hour. 25 times the damage. Shit.
You open a physics textbook and you're like, I don't understand a word of this. A normal response would be like, of course I don't understand this advanced topic.
Oh, look, they all think they're so smart. It's so funny that they can't get the simplest thing right? They think photons are reading our minds.
I haven't had physics since high school. Maybe I should start with something a little easier. But the physics crackpot had that experience and was like, well, all physics...
So, look, she conceded in the beginning of this argument, right, that a ton of these guys are ex-engineers. They've been building things their whole life, inventing things. And yes, they're a little bit wrong-headed. But the fact is they could do things you can't do. That is, they could rebuild an engine. I could do that. And I was a mechanic. And then they could run a lathe. And they could know how deep they can go, how fast they can cut. They would know all that stuff. You wouldn't know shit about it. You wouldn't know how to do it at all. You'd be lame and useless. Okay, if you had to do anything real. Anything real you would fail at. Okay? Fuck. Just amazing. Just amazing.
This is wrong. I'm right. I will be Albert Einstein. And
so again, they always have to turn it into this, but isn't that the ambition? Isn't that the very thing you should be targeting to? What the hell? You should be trying to say, look, I can replace all of this wooey crap with a solid real theory instead of this wacky wooey nonsense. It's a geodesic. And in 2 dimensions, we'll use gravity to illustrate it. So yes, we'll use gravity to prove the existence of gravity. Because we can't draw it in 3 dimensions without it looking just like a light bulb in reverse. And, well, yeah, a light bulb has particles, and so we don't, it has rays anyway, right? And we don't want to, gravity doesn't have anything to do with anything real.
instead of taking a class, instead
of coming to our church, why don't they come to our church of Scientology and learn how to use the mental powers to believe you can do anything? I mean, you're cult members. And yes, you happen to be the biggest cult in the world. Oh, so what? You're still just a cult. You have this little wacky 7 seals theory. Oh, God damn it.
of learning math, they spent 3 years independently researching their theory and writing it up. And they sent it to physicists, and physicists respond like it's a joke because...
Yeah, because they're cowards. Okay, and even when you offer them $4,000 just to acknowledge the existence of the argument, just so their audience can see the actual fact that there is a counter theory, that you don't have to believe in entanglement and superpositions and alive and dead cats. You don't have to believe in any of that horse shit. I mean, that's the joke of it. They turn these things into these things where they're making a joke. They're laughing at how silly their physics is, and they actually turn the joke into somehow, well, yeah, the cat is dead and alive. Yeah. We actually believe that. Until we open the box and look, because nothing else is looking. The universe can't see the cat.
It's obviously crank. Like, there's nothing there. There's no physics there.
Yeah, they explain gravity by saying things like, well, the Earth is going up. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't get any bigger, but it goes up. You go up, 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 up. And you're just standing still, and the Earth is going up. Yeah. Yeah, relativity.
And these people get very angry. Like, I have worked on this theory.
Yeah, that's right. I have actually worked on it for 12 years. 12 years of dedicating essentially 90% of my conscious energy to physics problems. They're going through my head constantly. I go to sleep every night, constant thinking about how do I explain it to these fucking dim, fucking retarded morons? I mean, how can I illustrate this simple thing to these fucking idiots? Every fucking day.
For 3 years, and you laugh at me, I am going to change the world.
Oh, so again, she keeps changing the agenda. They're doing science. The cranks aren't. Their religion is completely not anything like our religion. They're not doing it the same way at all. Where we make up evidence and tell phantasmagorical stories. Oh, wait a minute. Our physics is just as silly as theirs. It's just a story we tell. We don't prove anything. We don't show up in court with something called evidence.
And this is terrifying. The American Physical Society has a conference every year.
Oh, very exciting. I'm sure all the fun people show up. Lawrence Krauss.
And every year they have a crackpot session. If you pay your dues and you...
Yeah, well, the political people have some sort of press meeting club thing that they go to, and they all joke about everything like it's all a big fucking joke, right? People dying in the wars, people being ruined, people having their lives destroyed, and it's all a fucking joke. It's all fodder for jokes. So, yeah, it's pretty pitiful.
Or an active member.
People suck. You shouldn't even elect a president who ever smiles. He's got nothing to smile about, right? I mean, the job is he is going to literally murder a whole bunch of people based on what he does. It's going to decide who lives, who dies, how they die. All of that shit's going to be decided by this asshole. He shouldn't be smiling. He shouldn't have a happy fucking moment for the 4 fucking years. Because there's not a goddamn thing he's doing that's fun. It's not fun to decide who gets ruined.
Member of APS, you can go to the conference and you can present. And you know why? In 1952, after his paper on how the electrons don't exist was rejected, a man got on a bus, went to New York, went to the APS office, and shot the first person.
Oh, so why are you bringing this stuff up? Why? Why are you doing this? You're just, it's just so fucking stupid. Yeah, there's all kinds of crazy fucks in the world. Okay, one of the guys you mentioned was a kook who thought, there was a whole big conspiracy, the number guy or whatever. He was a horrible threat to his wife and family. He was a threat to all kinds of people. And they gave him the Nobel Prize.
The first person he saw was 20-year-old Eileen Fahey, and she died. And so now, if you pay your dues, you can go and you can present your physics because the APS doesn't want something like that to happen again.
Oh, I'm sure this really happens, but whatever. I'm sure you have some open session where you allow anyone to walk in and present their physics. Sure you do. Why don't you do that on video? Why don't you just say, well, look, we'll watch your videos. Why bother coming all the way out here to present? Why don't you just say, okay, present your, submit your video and we will compose some sort of reasoned response why we reject it. We reject it. You're a flat earther.
But it happened, and crackpots are scary. That's why no one's responding to your emails.
Yeah, well, the vice versa. Okay, crackpots are scary, but so are people who fall in love with corporations and who advertise products they don't even agree with just to make money on the fucking physics video and because they're a chick. All of that is creepy as fuck also.
The idea that a random person just sitting in their bedroom could come up.
Okay, so again, she conceded in the beginning these are people whose fingernails are filthy, whose scars all over the place, half cut off fingers. I got those. These are people who've been working with the physical reality their whole fucking lives, all right? And she's saying, oh yeah, like they didn't do any work. It just, fuck you. Fuck you.
With a better theory.
You go to school and eat pizza and had dorm parties. I mean, how much did you pay attention to anything? All right, and your doctorate is probably on some fucking goddamn, like I said, she's some sort of number shit. Okay, it's all synthetic. She programmed a computer to create a blender simulation. And she's a doctor of physics for that.
Then the literal thousands of people who work on this every day and have for hundreds of years is delusional.
Oh, it's Rutherford, right? And it's Faraday. Faraday is a perfect example, right? So you would have kept Faraday out. You would have said, "Oh, he doesn't qualify. He shouldn't be doing physics. He's not qualified to do physics." I mean, people are just disgusting. Disgusting. I wonder what Faraday would think of the Eddington experiment as good science. 1/10 the data quality, okay? The guy concedes he wouldn't stake his life on the results, and yet Einstein gets a New York Times headline saying, Einstein proven right. And you haven't repeated the experiment beyond the margin of error, okay, and, from the ground, even though you had a perfect eclipse in whatever it was, 2019, 17, whatever the hell it was, perfect eclipse, 12 noon eclipse over North America, didn't bother doing the experiment. Didn't bother. The funny thing, will they do it this time when it's a 2 o'clock eclipse? When it's a worse eclipse, will they do it this time? Oh, God, you people are just such scum. And from space, 400 times better resolution. Never even attempted it. In 50 fucking years. 400 times better resolution. Never even tried it.
And when you talk about this with people who aren't physicists, they're like, well, what if they're right? What if they're right?
Yeah, if they're right, you're going to have your grave pissed on. That's my theory, okay? My theory is, all right, that I'm going to die before you assholes ever man up, grow some balls somewhere, buy some somewhere. And the fact is you're going to lose in the end. You're going to sound like such fucking imbeciles, a little inquisitional imbeciles, okay? You have a shitty theory based on shitty evidence, and you're talking like you're so fucking sure you're right, and you're just as bad as the thing you're pointing your fucking weaselly fucking fingers at. You fucking goddamn ivory tower douchebag shit.
And that's the fourth thing.
Don't buy another pair of glasses until you've seen what this new invention can do.
Yeah, do you endorse this, super eye vision thing? God damn. All right, this is good. Okay, yeah, good. Pick on this fucking weasel. All right, so I talked to this guy. I actually did talk to him years ago, and a couple of years ago, anyway, 3 years ago. I don't know what it was. But anyway, and yeah, he had some legitimate criticisms of accelerator physics, but he takes it all way too far, and he's obviously, whatever you call that, ethnocentric kind of thing. He's got some sort of, he's a German guy, proud of his German scientists, and he, it's pretty scary, actually.
So my conclusion is, particle physics, as practiced since 1930, is an entirely futile enterprise.
No, it's not futile because it's just like this everything else they broke, right? The reason why my electrons and protons don't equal my weight is because 1/2 mv squared. And so it's just so funny to me that all of these other people that are supposed to be smart, that nobody has looked at this thing and said, well, you know what, that really doesn't make any goddamn fucking sense. I mean, Newton does the equal and opposite reaction thing, makes it a law, and then you believe that, well, the bullet comes out with 5,000 joules and the gun leaves with 5. Wait a minute, that's way off, isn't it? That doesn't sound equal and opposite at all. Maybe I should investigate to see if that actually happens. That the bullet actually can do 5,000 watts worth of work. Because it can't, okay? It can't do any more work than the recoiling gun. It's just mass moving. It can only make a certain amount of mass move. It can only exchange the money it has. It doesn't have the $5,000. It only has the $5, just like the gun. $5, that's all it has. So all of particle physics is based on 1/2 mv squared. So all of these 400 bullshit particles they invented just have to do with regular particles going faster or slower. And that's it. And they make up this insane amount of energy it has because it's going fast. They say, well, it's got 5,000 joules of energy. There must have been a gun that launched it that has 5,000 joules worth of explosive. No, it's only 5 joules. It's only 5 watts. It's just so bad.
And that's the fourth thing about crackpots. They will never be right because they have no physics training. The theories they send...
I mean, the guy is a physicist. She's how can she do this? I mean, the guy she just played has a physics degree, for fuck's sake. What are you talking about? Oh, amazing. I mean, he's not he didn't make shoes his whole life. He was a physicist. Oh, shit. He went to your schools. He read your Bible. Oh, amazingly stupid.
Are not physics theories in any sense of the word. Most people do not work at the forefront of science. And so they're like, what if they're right? What if a crackpot is right? What if they're right? And it's hard to explain.
Yes, then you're going to be drowning for eternity in a big bucket of piss. Yes, it's going to be marvelous. You're going to get what you fucking deserve. Your reputation is going to be shit. You're going to be in the, Darwin book of this is how to fail as a scientist. Be an arrogant, obnoxious fucktard who thinks they know it all when they have some theory that's made out of, well, it looks like a Sasquatch. I mean, it's got fur and it's brown. Yeah, I know it has 4 legs and it's got this big snouty thing, but no, it's a Sasquatch.
Like, it's impossible for them to be right because they are not doing physics at all. Like, they could never be right because they don't even take the step to have a physics idea. So in classic physicist fashion, I have prepared an illustration, a cute little story a la Schrodinger's cat.
Oh, great. That's really great. I'll make up some stories about you. How's that? Yeah, I think that's appropriate. Maybe I'll do Deschardelet next, and I'll just call her what she was, an ignorant whore.
To explain to you what it's like to receive a crackpot email. Imagine you work in a restaurant, and you have been head chef for 12 years.
Yeah, imagine you're sitting in your house, and you're on your computer, and you're just talking on, some kind of social media, and there's a knock on the door.
People love your food. People love your recipes. One day before dinner rush.
Oh, yeah, and then a cop shows up. You know, they're knocking on the door. You open the door, and it's cops. 2 cops are at your door, you know, concerned that somehow you're plotting to blow up the local high school.
Someone just busts into your kitchen.
Yeah, that's right. Somebody just anonymously called them and just told a completely fake and phony story that some guy's on the internet plotting to blow up the high school. And now you have to defend yourself.
And he says, you're part of the show.
Did I pay any attention to what she's saying? Oh, no, that's right. I didn't. Okay, so say it. Yeah, go ahead, say it.
Chef establishment. You don't know what a recipe is. You're all wrong. I am the best.
So don't we understand, again, if they had evidence for what they say, right? If they could show you a picture of a quark, or they could show you a neutrino, or they could even draw a rational diagram of an atom. Just show me, well, where are the positrons exactly? You're saying you're going to make a whole bunch of these here positrons. Where the fuck are they? Oh, that's right. They're going to make them out of photons. Oh, I forgot. They're going to make matter out of energy. They're going to build little positrons. Even though everybody thinks electrons and protons are forever particles, you know, and they've always been somewhere, that every frickin' little bit of me, every atom was somewhere else. And even if the atom wasn't even an atom, it was in some sun somewhere that had to be made, right? That the gold atoms are indestructible, you know, that once you have them, unless you put them inside of a sun again and melt them down, so to speak. I mean, come on. Oh, this is such bullshit.
Best chef in the world. I make the best recipes. You're garbage. And they just throw a takeout box like down in front of you on like your bench. How do you feel? You're pissed, right? Like, how dare this person come into your successful restaurant and call you garbage? You're mad, right? That's incredibly rude.
Oh, right. And so how is this rudeness take form exactly? People send you emails, a polite email, you don't respond. Or you respond with, shut up, flat earther. Professor Lewin got challenged by an electrical engineer on the subject of bois blanc, or whatever the fuck it is. Okay, and the guy merely points out that, well, look, Professor, there really can't be 2 voltages in the same location, and your silly probe wires are inside your inductor, so they're obviously not going to be able to detect any honest voltage because they're in the experiment getting irradiated by the inductor. So that's where you're making your mistake, okay? You can't probe an inductor. It's impossible to probe an inductor. Theoretically, it's pretty much impossible. It's going to irradiate your probe.
But you're curious. So you open the takeout box. And it's click.
So anyway, the point is that how did the physics respond? He called him a flat earther. Oh, if you want to be dumb as a flat earther, then yeah, okay, go ahead, believe whatever you want. Flat earther. I mean, you people are so fucking lame. Did you take your medication today? She's probably on medication, sure.
Plato It's Play-Doh arranged to look like a pasta, the way like a 3-year-old would make. So you laugh because you think it's a joke.
All right, so they're the one with this childish superposition, wooey singularity physics. So we're gonna wormhole, and we're gonna have warp drives and twin paradoxy kind of bullshit. Yeah, fuck you. All right, I'll come back to this later today. I just hate this planet. Hate these scummy turds. Insulting the shit. So she's made at least 4 references to anybody disagreeing with them being infantile and childish and ignorant. Fuck you. All right, should be back. Hours later and such. So we're arguing with a physicist who, again, pigeonholes all opposition to any nonsense they state as you must be a crackpot. So if you don't think there's many worlds, you're a crackpot. If you don't think there's dark matter, you're a crackpot. How much are you allowed to disagree before you're going to get labeled a crackpot? Okay. Merely because you argue that it will be found out that what they say is wrong. All right, and the simple ones, like I said, are, MGH, doing the height instead of the time. It's MGT. Little formulas that are just fundamentally broken. And certainly 1/2 mv squared is just nonsense. They never proved it. They never did any experiments to prove it. That it would have any credibility. I mean, dropping round things, denting clay with round things isn't a credible experiment. I wonder if the physicists can understand that if you just dent clay with round objects, you're not going to get a linear comparison.
This man came in all pretending to be angry, and he's like, look at my recipe, it's the best, and it's not even a recipe, it's Play-Doh. How funny.
So again, this is their characterization. You must respect our authority. We went to physics school, which is just catechism. So they went to catechism and learned a bunch of, Latin words for the Holy Ghost. And do their little mantra, 1/2 mv squared. Praise the Mother, the Holy 1/2 mv squared.
And when you're laughing, he looks at you, and you see that crazy, delusional, empty eyes, and he.
Or else you see this dim chick eyes. Yeah.
Starts screaming, how dare you laugh at me? I've been working on this recipe.
So this is worth 500,000 views. This empty critique of critiquing. Like I said, don't diss our authority. We have proven everything, even though, well, actually we haven't, and we don't even repeat experiments, and then we make up fake experiments about detectors that could see the photons.
For 3 years, I will change the world. I am the Bobby Flay of 2020.
So what is it for Bobby Flay, whatever the fuck that is? What is your Neil deGrasse Tyson but some frickin' icon, right? How did he get famous? Oh, that's right. No good reason at all. He said Pluto wasn't a planet, then you found out Pluto had a moon, and well, he looks pretty stupid, doesn't he, in hindsight?
Too. How dare you? And now you're scared, right? Because this man thinks this is food, but it's Play-Doh. It's not food. How did he work on this for 3 years? He never Googled what is a...
Yeah, why don't you Google 4 pounds 1 foot and 1 pound 4 feet and Google the fact that you've never even done the experiment. You just tell us what the outcome is.
Recipe? What is food? He didn't go to a restaurant to test.
Oh, well, what? You never looked at the results of the ballistic pendulum? You shoot the bullet in and you conserve 97% of the momentum, and somehow 99.94% of the kinetic energy just poofed away? And what are you going to say? That it made a whole bunch of heat that didn't use any momentum? Oh, you made 500 watts of heat, but you didn't use any momentum to do it? Yeah, it's all magical mush.
other people's food. He's been working on this for 3 years, and now he's in your kitchen. He knows where.
And wait, nobody's invading your kitchen. I mean, this is all just such bullshit. All right, you know, the fact that you people are despicable cowards. I mean, look at the flat Earth debunkers. I mean, obviously the flat earthers are either despicable liars or insane people. And what do? You make fun of them. You mock them. Yeah, that's your big contribution to science, is to mock people who are no doubt mentally ill.
Where you are, it's scary. And
You're scary. You scary, arrogant, freaking. It's just disgusting that you talk like you've conquered something, or you did something even, when you've done nothing but memorize a mantra. 1/2 mv squared divided by per second per seconds. Yeah, 15 per second per seconds.
now, imagine people are like, well, what if he's right? What if he's right?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, that's what you're going to find out, okay? All of you are going to be disgraced, okay? You're going to be on the Leibniz shit pile, okay? Leibniz died a disgraced physicist, a scientist. Nobody showed up for his funeral. Nobody even contributed 10 cents to burying him, all right? Because he had disgraced himself, because he had to cheat. All right, to say, I invented it. So Leibniz was the egotist, and his physics is the physics you're living on. This is a guy who wanted to be called von Leibniz, even though he wasn't a von.
He's been working on it for so long. Maybe that is the best recipe. And you're like, it's not even food. It's plate.
Yeah, well, mv squared isn't food. It's nonsense. A squared velocity? I mean, you can't even figure out, there's no geometry for a squared velocity. You can't make a cube of velocity. You can't figure that out. It's not a cubable substance. It's not a volume that you can, here's a volume of velocity. It doesn't come in that form.
No, it's not food. He didn't do the basic. He's not speaking my language. I can't eat this.
And that's every single person that tries to debunk any part of your physics. Oh yeah, they're not speaking the right language. And you're the ones doing 1 + 1 = 4. Literally, 1 + 1 = 4. I mean, this is what she says is rational and logical and is above assailing. We cannot possibly rationally disagree with this theory. There's 1 unit of energy. Okay, I did work. I created 1 unit of pressure. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, 1 unit of energy. Oh, I do exactly the same thing with exactly the same math. 1 + 1. Now, I say that equals 2. The scale says it equals 2. They say it equals 4. 1, okay, equals 1. And then this somehow magically equals 3 more. Now I have 4. Even though the scale says 2, now I have 4. And you're critiquing other people's intelligence, sincerity, and sanity? Phew. Oh, you're just such hypocrites.
Crackpots have no conception of how physics works, and they
Yeah, how it works. It doesn't work. That's why it has blobs of clay on it. That's why Professor Lewin had to crab a bunch of clay on his air cart. That's why it has more mass on it than it should. It's because the experiment don't work unless I cheat.
take rejection as evidence that their theory is correct. Because they're delusional. They think like, see, it just proves that the physics establishment is afraid of me. They'll cite Galileo and say, just like Galileo was proven right, I will be proven right. And it's like, everyone believed Galileo. What are you talking about? They'll be like, Einstein was bad at math. He was a patent clerk.
Einstein said 2 years before he died, I spent 50 years studying photons. I haven't improved my understanding 1 iota. A huge concession that all the talk, all the nonsense for 50 years was exactly that, just talk and nonsense, because they really don't know what the fuck they're talking about. That's how Einstein died. Einstein died thinking this isn't finished, it isn't close to right. Okay, it's really a big pile of crap.
And it's just like, What? Of course, Einstein was brilliant at math. He's like the most famous theoretical physicist.
Oh, that's why he had to get help with his math from first his wife, and then he had to, Planck and the other guy had to help him out to figure out how to contrive silly math, fake math, to explain the precession of Mercury. Math nobody on Earth can do.
He was a patent clerk, but he was also a professor. He was also trained in physics. Like, people.
And he rejected what he was being trained in. I mean, what, you haven't figured that out, that he changed physics? He wasn't one of you, okay? He wasn't a conventionalist talking the conventional crap. I mean, it's so ironic. Oh, wow. His whole career is pointing out the fact that he had to fight against the tide.
People believed Galileo, but he pissed off the church. And so they were afraid to talk to him because they would be murdered by the church. That has nothing to do with the science that Galileo...
Oh, yeah, it has everything to do with how physics is done. Anybody who deviates from your mishmash isn't going to get anywhere in your physics. Probably that simple. If they don't do what you say is physics, then, oh, you're not a physicist. You have to do it our way. Our formulas are right.
did. Me not responding to your email because I'm scared of you is not evidence that your theory is right. It's evidence that I'm scared of you.
Okay, so pretty lame excuse. And certainly there are people who make overt threats. And so, yeah, you could take those a little bit seriously. I mean, I've gotten plenty of that. Again, so... but what are you afraid of? If somebody says, well, here, I'll pay you. What do I got to pay you? I said my email. I said, what do I have to pay you? What's your price? What do you think your time is worth? Huh? How much? How much do I have to pay you to respond to one of my arguments? Not the ones you feel comfortable attacking. Okay, I can go out and I can find arguments that I can debunk without even trying. I can pick the easy fruit too. Why don't you allow the challenge to actually take place where you're not the one prepared for a change and you don't have the answers? Well, you want to have a contest between the two of us and see who knows more about the actual history of Leibniz and Descartes and Grandson than you? Because I bet I do.
So I wanted to make this because I am incredibly fascinated by this worldview, by the idea that one should be able to just enter a field with no background.
Okay, so again, all these people do have a background. So again, you said right in the beginning, you conceded the argument. These guys are engineers, okay? They took some physics, but yeah, they had specialties, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of them have done a lot more than you'll ever do in your life in terms of inventing or innovating or mechanically doing something. And here you are, pretending they're all just people who said one day, okay, I'm a psychotic, and all of a sudden now I'm a physicist, or I'm a medical doctor, or I'm some, No, that's not the case. Again, Bill Gates, he was a bit of a communist and did some, espionage work and a lot of other wacky crap that isn't too credible. But, he's a physicist. He worked on, making chips and all that kind of stuff. He worked for one of the big chip manufacturers.
And then champion that field. Like, crackpots exist in other fields. Like, if you're looking for female crackpots, go to medicine. Or like
okay, what is this now? All these little random pieces of crap. My wife, the clinical nutritionist, assures me that female crackpots exist, but they turn their talents on her, not us physicists. I don't know even what that means. I'd argue that, it takes time for... I don't even know how to... There's no nice way to say it, okay? A lot of women have done physics, but it isn't very good physics. And Descartes is a great example of just a rich person doing physics. That's all she was.
essential oil situations, like the flat earth thing a few years ago. That was technically physics crackpots, but it was different, right? It was hundreds of people all doing experiments and trying to point to global conspiracy. But like,
They really weren't, okay? Obviously, like I said, we already know they don't think the earth is flat, okay? They're just trolls. They're just like those anonymous people that just make up crap and try to stir pots. They're just pot stirrers, and there's a few lunatics that show up to follow them. It's like the little religious cults where, the guy has 18 followers, or whatever. Kooks.
crackpot physicists, they work alone. They're worried that any interaction with physicists will.
Well, that's the funny part is, there is this tendency that even when you agree on something, you can't agree with another crank, if you want to call us cranks or whatever. People who aren't too thrilled with dogmatic authority. And unfortunately, they don't agree with each other either. So, I haven't been able to find any useful allies in the dissident community. Because they're just as deaf as the physicists. They won't even listen to the argument, frankly.
Make them steal their theories or taint their ideas. Like, they need to have the final product and they need to publish it on their own so that the world knows they're Einstein. If you were...
No, what I really want the world to know is that you aren't. That you're just a pretender, a poser. Okay, and you're just using your little feminine charms and trying to make some bucks off of physics. You don't give a fuck about the truth, okay? Because people who care about the truth are saying, challenge me, test me, test me. That's how the physics gets better. Test it, test it, test it, test it hard. Punish me, okay, with your counter arguments. Punish me with your, but make them legitimate. Like I said, all I've gotten is a bunch of, experiments where they don't even know that, that arcs are different than straight lines. They don't know that a treadmill is different than, gravity on a surface. I mean, all kinds of things that you have to explain to them because they're too stupid. Even the lever, you have to account for the weight of the lever because it's going to use some of the momentum. The movement of the lever uses some of the momentum. Little things like that.
Work with a group, you can't be Einstein, right? Whereas physicists work in probably, I would say the average is like a group of three to 10.
Oh, isn't that exciting? You have your little orgies with your little friends. Obviously, you're so pathetic. You won't even argue with each other in any kind of honest way. I mean, obviously, some physicists think string theory is just baby talk. I mean, it's just absolute crap, but they won't say that.
And big collaborations like a CERN paper will have 1,000 authors.
Yeah, right. And one of them's the janitor. It's just such bullshit. It's just hilarious. And who wrote the paper? One person. I mean, this is just such bullshit.
The EHT paper that had that published the black hole images.
Oh yeah, isn't that a piece of crap, right? The basically the confirmation bias procedure. So yeah, just throw out all the data that doesn't match. Just keep the stuff that looks like what we want to draw, and we can make it look like anything. I mean, just junk science. There's been a couple of physicists who've pointed out it's pretty junky science. All right, there's all kinds of room for, well, we just forced it to look like that, frankly. Our own will was imposed on it, okay, because we selected the data.
From a couple of years
And you could argue that Eddington did exactly the same thing.
ago had hundreds of authors just because the low-hanging fruit is gotten. You can't be a physicist.
Hilarious. Nobody's even gone near testing any of the low-hanging fruit. I mean, all the elemental theories, they haven't come close to doing any experiments. Again, they didn't repeat the Eddington experiment. A perfect 12 noon eclipse over North America. And they didn't repeat the experiment. And they have never even, we're supposed to believe they never even tried it from space. with 400 times better resolution and about, what, 2,000 satellites up there, they haven't even tried it.
Working by yourself. Like, people definitely still publish single author papers, but it's much more rare. And it's much more common for big papers with big results to have many people on them.
Oh, how exciting. I mean, that just proves it's really great physics. The more names you can put on the paper, well, that just proves it's good physics. Sure. Jesus. Why don't you and Veritasium and Lucky for a Day and, you know, whatever, Happy Pappy and Silly Billy, why don't you all get together and write yourself a paper?
How did this happen? How did you get the confidence to think that you are Albert Einstein?
Okay, so again, I'm not, that's the whole point, right? Einstein is who they're generally speaking the cranks are attacking. So again, they don't want to be Albert Einstein. They want to be the real deal, okay, walking in real shoes instead of just being a pretender. Einstein was a pretender, okay? His was weak theory. Okay, and the evidence is incredibly weak. Clocks break. Therefore, the whole universe is some sort of, woo-averse. No, it isn't.
Stay tuned for part 2.
Oh, good. Then I'll have an excuse to do some more ragging on your poor logic and the lack of depth that you apply in your thinking. So let's see, pulsar distance, one weird trick. Well, I guess that's not the stay tuner.
Can physicists be crackpot physicists? Yes. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, fuck. Jesus. Trite, silly, weak, girly video. Frankly, it's a girly video. It says nothing. She just, I feel something. I feel it in my heart. I feel something about it. Yeah, I have a feeling. I hate this planet. Let's see, some crackpot. I will be the new Einstein of this century. Look, they just repeat what she said. Oh. God, it's just so pathetic. So bad. So any young physicist thinking they're going to be the next deGrasse Tyson or the next Sean Carroll, they're so fucking silly. Yeah, they shouldn't have the ambition to excel at what they're doing. No, they shouldn't have that ambition. That would be silly. A human being that has ambition? Oh, what a dumb idea. No. Humans aren't ambitious. I mean, just amazing bullshit. Let's see. I'm an electrical engineer raised by physicists. A serious risk of type A crackpot. This is a very useful cautionary tale for me. Thank you so much. Oh, God, what a jerk. So he had physicists for parents, but he decided just to become electro-engineero. So who knows what this crap is. He's got a picture of his eyeball and a guitar, of course, a guitar. They're all musicians, the physicists. Yeah, fuck. The music of, that's like Dullard. She should have put a Dullard clip in there. The orchestra, the opus of the universe. It's all music. That's his string theory. Oh, puke. God, I just hate it here. Hate it. I hate this fucking planet. I wonder if she lets you see her subscribers. Yeah, let's see. Who her buddies are. It doesn't look like it. Let's see. Nope. So we don't get to see who her club is. See if she got a community page. No community page. Doesn't need it, apparently. Alright, well, anyway. Oh, God. So where was this other video? I didn't see some other video with crackpot in it. Let's see how long ago the crackpot video was. Let's see, how to teach yourself physics. Pokemon, I'm sure that's really interesting. Christmas economics, I'm sure that's really good physics. The antimatter video, well, probably should make fun of that next. Alright, how an antimatter spacecraft will work. Oh, god damn. I mean, you just can't, it's just such stupid fucking bullshit. Yeah, so I don't see anything on cranks here. Okay. All right, enough. So till the next time, I'll find some other crappy video of hers. I don't know what she has a Gilman, Mickey Ayakaku kooky video where she sees the picture instead of Gilman, which I don't understand that either. Why would she put her own picture in there? Ego problem, I guess. Alright, anyway. So, till the next time, and such and so forth and whatnot. I hate this planet. Hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. Jackasses everywhere. Arrogant, obnoxious, ignorant, stupid,